All these cities always rely on cars. Look at how many roads there are. And who wants to spend time building interchanges? So why not delete every road and ban all the cars? So I loaded up the new Netherlands region pack, perfect for this walking utopia, and I started up a new game on the map of Zwolle. We have lots of rivers here and a very interesting starting road. The thing is, these are for cars. We don't want that, but the great thing is, even at milestone 0, we can already build pedestrian streets, a street where only foot traffic is allowed. So let's get that in from this roundabout. There's even these one-way pedestrian streets, but I think that's just for delivery vans. And just like that, we have our first bit of roads to start the city. In the Netherlands pack, we got 2 different style of low density housing. Let's compare them to each other. First, the gable roof housing here and the gambrel roof housing over here. Start the time. Things are zoning in fast. Let's also add a bit of commercial wherever we can. And here we go. The first people are arriving. Let's see what they do. Yes, this is looking good. They are just parking here, exiting their vehicle, and now we can follow them to their home. They even got a lovely dog. How nice is that? And they are already enjoying the walking. Let's get that workout in. Here we go. He finally reached his lovely home. That's amazing. In the meantime, the whole city has been built. There's trucks leaving. Oh, and there's a taxi. Seems like taxis can drive on these walking streets as well. Looks like so far everyone is sticking to the rules, but we have massive service problems. Great thing, there are just some pipes down here. Let's connect them up. Same as with electricity. We hit tiny village, but the funny thing I want to show you, even when you're importing water and sewage from the outside, that actually makes you money. So you're generating more fees than what it costs you to import that service. There's literally no reason to build any water tower or sewage infrastructure, since that would cost you upkeep. Why would you build that if you can just make free profits by just importing these services? So that's how we're going to keep it around here. We have these homes zoned in, so let's see if we can notice a difference. Looks like multiple of those here on the right have like these roof windows, whereas these ones don't have it. And look at all these taxis delivering people. That's how it's supposed to be. And we are already crazy profitable for some reason. So let's expand what we have going on with the Netherlands medium density row housing. People are continuously moving in, and honestly it's great to see Colossal Order fix some stuff. I was really expecting that cars would drive into these pedestrian zones, as they did not that long ago. If you check out my old video about doing this, or of some other YouTubers, they always had these problems that normal cars were driving into the pedestrian streets. Now it seems like it's only mostly taxis, and of course like the delivery vans, which is fine. There's not that many people walking around yet, and we'll see if we can still break that. This video is not going to stop until we have tons of people walking on these pedestrian streets. So let's continue zoning. We know the depth of these row homes now, so let's give them another go. And here we go. We are really getting some density right now. Honestly, I love that these buildings are not that big. They seem to have more of a realistic scale. But anyway, we need to continue growing the city. For one, now that we have taxation, let's get residential taxes to 0. That way we have people moving in faster. Then we zone more businesses. Get in basic services with this small Netherlands clinic. I've never seen this asset. Kind of simple, but nice. And let's also get a Netherlands cemetery going on here. That one has a massive room for expansion. I think it may be one of the most custom assets in the game. Look at all the things we can add here, but all that also costs a lot of money. So we just need to massively expand. So far pedestrians are working well, even though there's mostly taxis driving around now. We hit milestone 2. While at the same time creating massive expansions for the city, even getting in the first bit of medium density housing and zoning more job opportunities with businesses all around. We are building the first Netherlands elementary school, kind of cute, great that it fits with all the rest of the colors, as well as our first special building with the Fleur d'été, which fits in quite well right next to these Netherlands row homes. Things have definitely changed since I last tried to build a pedestrian-only city. Let's see what happens if we build parking areas, build out some streets right here in the front, and add some parking spaces to that, as well as some paths to reach the pedestrian zoning. Cars are arriving and using these parking spaces, which is great. This seems to also speed up the growth of our city a tiny bit. So for now, let's just add a few more of them. After all, we want our city to grow. We hit milestone 3 and look at this massive parking lot. I mean, I don't think this is really against the spirit of a pedestrian city, because this is what facilitates it. That way people can arrive, park their car, and then experience this utopia. And the city all around is really, really nice. And I guess we could even increase the parking fees. Maybe this will solve our crumbling budget. We're still making losses, but now we're making profits from roads, which comes from the parking. We have lots of buildings upgrading with these green arrows. With these parking lots, the city is really booming. So next, let's build out some industrial area. I wonder if people will walk all the way over here from all the way back there. But this small Dutch town is looking really nice. Still a bit too much of a grid, but it's getting there. Apparently there's a lot of crime going on. Luckily there is a small Netherlands police station. So let's get that in. Also, what a really nice asset. Next up, I just built out more of the roads, just so I can zone more commercial, more medium density, low density homes to grow the population. And in this view, look at all these cars. They are kind of driving in a circle because of all these one-way streets. But so far, it does not look like we have any traffic problems anywhere. It's just these yellow taxis driving around, as well as these trucks. The parking lots are all kind of filled up, and we unlocked even more special buildings to put down. Next up, I wanted to make these backyards of the low density homes a bit nicer. I hit milestone 4. Let's close that up, but it's an important one, we will see in a second. But first, here you go, take some trees. That immediately makes the city look way nicer, even though it's raining. But milestone 4 is important because it unlocks these buses and public transportation in a whole. So what we can do now, instead of having all these taxis driving around, let's build a bus depot. Oh, we're suddenly out of money. We're losing a lot of money. But for what we're doing next, we're gonna need a massive loan. Let's quickly pause the time so we're not losing too much money. Then let's get in a small bus station right here, as well as one in the pedestrian road and over here where all the people live. And now we can create bus lines. The most important one, all the way from the outside to this bus terminal and all the way back. That's our first line. Then let's make a line to over here where all the people live, as well as a line to the industry area. That should provide a bunch of connectivity and hopefully also increase the speed in which people move in. One thing that should help, we now have low rent housing unlocked. Let's put that in the area of the bus station, as well as a few shops. And next to this industry area, maybe some sort of office park. We now have all these buses leaving. Look at them. This should make people even happier, kind of reducing the walking distances. But they for sure don't need a car in this city. Look at that, there's basically a traffic jam now for all these bus lines. And we can see there's 300 passengers waiting on the other side that wanna move into our town. So that's 10% of the people that are just going to arrive by these buses. Let's make this outside line red. That way we can see which buses are of this route. And now that we have this major connectivity hub here, let's expand the city even further, building our first bridge. Look at it, people won't even get wet in the rain if they use this one. And this leads over here to our first island. And this is just gonna be one full island of higher density homes. They're even going to get a windmill on the end right here. This is just such an amazing asset. And now let's quickly look at these buses coming from the outside. They are all packed with 80 passengers each. So this city is really going to get busy. Look at all these people standing here that want to go somewhere. What a popular place. Looking at the budget, we're still losing a ton of money. For some reason, we are spending 155k a month on electricity. So let's see if we have some wind for electricity. Yes, we do. So let's build out a massive wind park. That also makes us hit milestone 5. But first we have to connect up all these wind turbines. This now means we are exporting electricity and making money from that. That's quite great. And we still have tons of demand. So let's build more low rent homes as well as a bunch more medium density. And this bridge seems to be really popular. For sure all the taxis, but also all the people walking. The bus terminal keeps on being busy and busy. Let's add all the special buildings we can. And we really need to get profitable. We're really bleeding money. I'm not sure where this is coming from. I mean, yes, we're spending a lot on healthcare, and I guess transportation is expensive. Oh, and I'm just realizing I put the residential taxes to 0. So if we want, we can always get profitable. But looking at this, most revenue comes from this small industrial area that we have right here. So probably it would be a good bet to expand that. So let's do just that with a new massive expansion. And we are starting to have a lot of bridges. And I really like the look of all these Netherlands assets. This just looks like a small town. It's not like a massive thing. It really looks like 5,000 population, which is quite neat. And demand is continuing to grow. I built out a new area here at the shoreline. This time using normal alleys, so technically cars could drive here. But I mean, if you get that far, you're probably not going to use cars. And all those are again more low density homes and medium density housing, as well as some more offices around here and more commercial for when they want to zone. I expanded the industry, and right as I was running out of money, I started making a profit. We were only left with around $3,000. So right now it looks like crisis averted, but from all the cliches, this really looks like the Netherlands. All these wind turbines. Look, we even got 3 train lines next to each other right here. The American mind can't comprehend. People are walking a lot, but for my taste, that's not enough people yet. So I just built out more and more roads, expanding to this larger island. And I used that to zone large towers, as well as the common medium density we already know. These larger buildings here are just the usual low-rent housing buildings that are in the game. And the thing is, population was just not growing fast enough. We're still only at 7,000 population. We need a new way to get people in, and for that the best one is just trains. So I unlocked them, but there was no pre-existing rail infrastructure in our tile, so we need to buy a new one. We can just buy this single one right here. It's kind of cheap. Add a rail yard as well as a small local train station. Then we just connect everything up and create our first passenger rail line from here all the way to the outside and back. Let's see what that does, how many people want to move in via trains. And here it comes. Look at it, here are our first passengers. Oh look, I think I know the guy.
Trains. Wow.
Safe to say, the train is working amazingly well. People are arriving via rail, and the great thing is they are already walking. So let's no longer allow taxis to drive in here. They're creating a massive traffic jam anyway. I think we can just delete this access point here. But to keep our bus line safe, we change that out with a bus route. Let's quickly take a look at how that goes. And it seems like fewer cars are now arriving here. Taxis are still using that. I don't want that to be this way, but it seems like it's definitely less traffic, and we should very soon only have pedestrians walking around all these streets. Or I guess not, there's still so many taxis entering here. Let's delete this road. I don't want any cars anymore. That also means that this one bus route can no longer drive. But for now, let's just disable this bus stop as well as the bus terminal. Let's force everyone to walk. You will no longer be allowed to take a bus. Oh, and I see so many people are getting sick. We need a new clinic. We can actually afford one, even for just 40k. So let's put one in right here in this new area. Hopefully that solves our problem a bit. And now everyone that's arriving is arriving via this train station. There's a lot of people walking. That's great, but there's only 300 people in this train for now. Maybe we can still get that up. But what we have right here, there's definitely a lot of people walking. Look at how busy it is. And there's no longer any line to the outside. For some reason, some buses are still running. Let's disable this first bus line. And I think there's no longer a way for cars or taxis to enter the city. I think it's definitely safe to say that pedestrian only works well It doesn't work as well as it used to. It feels like city growth is kind of slow. So surprisingly, City Skylines 2 has had many small fixes that have not been communicated, like normal cars no longer driving on these pedestrian roads. I guess that's a really great thing. Let me know if you want to see any other experiment. Thank you for watching and happy gaming.